everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Pop. My name is Mariel Basori, greeting you from Mexico City, and I'm here with two of the most amazing and beautiful people in the world, Lucas Apache from Brazil and Mauricio Sierra from Colombia, my beautiful co-hosts.
Hey guys.
Hello, guys. How are you today?
Good, so
Great.
excited.
Yeah, very excited
Yes, very
Today's
excited.
today's episode is number 19, track number 19. Can you believe it's been
already.
so long? I know. So, today's episode, today's topic, I'm sorry, was chosen by our friend Lucas here, and it's all about our music collection. He sent us specific questions about our collection, otherwise we would have to bring the whole thing here.
Yeah.
So, this is more like a specific questions, but I want to ask you, Lucas, why did you decide to talk about this topic for this episode?
Okay. I feel like the collection is something that moves me because when I'm on a different place or country, I want to try to find CDs, and it's a reason that I met so many people all over the world because of the collection. It's something that can give you friends. And for me, even a job because I have my own store uh, that I created because I'm a collector. So I created a store for collectors like me, and so this is basically a huge part of my life. And I have an Instagram that I post every day one item from my collection, my personal collection, and is account that is growing now. So I'm meeting a lot of people. So I think it would be really great to collide both words, like our videocast and my collection universe, um, so we can become something bigger and reaching out more people every time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes,
Yes,
I think definitely that music is definitely what united us
Yeah.
three. Yeah, I
yes,
mean, so yeah, I think sharing what we love because we all three love to collect CDs. It's great. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a very fun episode, and I'm gonna leave the mic to my friend Lucas because he's the one who chose this topic. He's the one leading us today. So bring it on, my friend.
Okay, thank you, Marielle. Well, I want to start talking a little bit about the reason why I collect, beside all the reasons that I already gave a minute ago. Uh, because I believe people always ask for you guys to, why do you buy CDs? Is everything on internet? You can
Yes.
listen on Spotify or something. I think it's more deep than that. Like when we were kids, uh, these records were like super difficult sometimes to have. Like for myself, my father used to give me one in a birthday, one in the Christmas, one in the kids day that we have here in Brazil in October, and that's it. I gotta choose what I
one.
gotta choose, so that's it. So we didn't have much of CDs. So I think a part of this is this. Now we can have more, and we can buy from other countries online, which was very difficult back then. And I gotta say that I don't really trust internet with this because, for example, Michaela here in Brazil only became available her album in the platforms this year. So if I wanted to listen
Mm,
her music, I had to bring my CD or
yeah.
download the tracks. So I don't fully trust. I believe can come a day when everyone will be like, okay, internet is not paying that much for my music. I'm taking all. I don't know. I'm going crazy this, but it's not
Yes.
impossible. So we are safe. We have our music in a different way with us forever. I don't know. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
know from you guys, why do you collect music, Marielle?
Well, it's pretty similar to what you just said, Lucas, because even though internet has a lot of things to offer to us, sometimes not everything is available. And the idea of having something physical, it's amazing. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but when you guys are searching for an album on internet to buy it, like to get it physically. It's so
Okay.
exciting because you can never uh, decide, oh, I can choose this one or I can choose this one. So, and when it finally arrives to you and you have it physically and you can open the booklet and read everything, see the pictures, it's a very different thing to just
Yeah.
play it on Spotify.
The whole experience. Yes.
Yes.
Totally.
And I've been told that many times. Why are you collecting CDs when everything's online? I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's my
Yeah.
thing. So it's one thing that connects me to the artist
Yeah.
more.
Well,
So
Yes.
yeah.
And the feeling when you are in an actual store and you find something that you are not expecting,
Yes.
it's the best. Like,
It's a
oh my
rush.
God, I was not expecting to find this. It's crazy.
Yes.
And you,
Yes.
Mal, why do you collect music?
well, we came from a generation of CDs. When we start listening to music, everything was about the CDs and to have the a copy of this CD. So when I decided to, I don't know if it was a decision like from this day I want to collect. I think I start buying CDs, a lot of CDs, and then I knew that I was a collector. And about what you said, it's totally true. For example, when Mariel said like when you have the CD in your hands and when you open and when you have the opportunity to read the booklet, it's a complete experience. You know, it's a whole experience because you are connecting with the artist, like reading the lyrics and seeing the photos. It's a complete different experience in comparison when you play using Spotify or something like that. Of course, we all three use this kind of platforms because it's the easy way to have our music every day, like
Mm-hmm.
in our journey every day. So,
Yeah.
but to have the CD in your hands, it's a complete experience. It's like read a book for me. Like
Yes.
to play a CD and to it's a whole story. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is the reason I collect.
And I don't
Yeah.
know if it happens to you guys. I'm sorry, Lucas. I
No,
don't know if you
go.
guys ever saw this movie, Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, there's this part when she says that when she buys clothes and she's obsessed with buying clothes, and she says, you get that feeling of excitement when you finally put it in your hands and everything is different and everything is happier
Yeah.
for you. I don't know if you guys feel the same thing when you buy CDs.
Yes, totally,
Yeah.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
Yes,
Totally.
yes, yes, yes.
It's
So, yeah.
crazy, but it's true.
It's
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
See why we love each other here in this podcast? Because we share the
Yeah.
same things.
We connect, of
yes.
Yes.
course. And well, I want to know how everything started because with me, I feel like another reason is because my father is a collector. So
Oh.
he has like a huge vinyl collection, CDs, everything. So I grew up in the stores with him in all the places. And so I grew up with records. Like in my first birthday, he gave me a vinyl from Xuxa that all the kids love it here in Brazil.
Of course.
But at first, I only had vinyl and cassettes
Mm-hmm.
here, tapes. So my first CD came when I was already 7 years old, 1997, when my father finally bought the radio that we could listen to CDs. And the first one was this one, Chiquititas.
I
That
love that
is,
show.
yes, was very huge here in Brazil. The Brazilian version. This is actually the Brazilian version, and it was the first. So I grabbed this CD around only school. Uh, the director of the school used my CD to play for everyone in the break. So it was awesome for me to have this, and for some time it was the only one that I had because CDs were more expensive
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
uh, back then than was the tapes, for example. So this was my first. And Mauricio, which one was your first? I think I know, but
Yes,
I want to be
yes.
sure. Yeah.
Everything started with this CD, but well, I want to share with you the complete story. When I was a kid, I used to visit so much my cousin that now lives in Cancun, actually in Mexico. My cousin Jerry Lee, and she had different kind of CDs. I think this was like the my connection with music because she used to love, and I think she still loves Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston of this kind of stuff. Celine Dion so much, Bon Jovi and stuff like that. So I remember playing in this huge device that have for vinyls and for CDs and for cassettes. We call in
Yeah.
Spanish equipo de sonido, like sound equipment or something like that. I don't know the real word in English, but I think is that. And I remember I was like 5 or 4. Do you remember Always by Bon Jovi, the song?
Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, when this song came out, I remember she had this CD, and I used to play. This song is for from 94 or 93, I think.
Yes.
I was four
93 or
or
94,
yes, I was
around there.
4 or something, and I used to play this song in this device all the time. So this was like the first, and then I didn't have a CD, so when I start like Stacio Rico, of course I wanted to have the CD, and this is the beginning of the story. I bought the
In the
CD.
yes.
You and the audience know the story from the previous episode. It was very
Yes.
hard. I was saving my money, the money that my dad gave me for the school, like for to eat for in the school. So finally, I had the opportunity to have the seat, and everything start from that moment. Yes.
Mm, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And you, Marielle, what your first?
It's pretty similar to what happens to you, Lucas. My father is also a very musical person. So every
Yeah.
time I was with him, he was playing music. So I kind of think that my dad is the one who introduced me to this amazing world of music. So
Same, same.
I started obviously with cassettes and stuff, but my first CD was Jeans number one,
Uh,
their first album. My mom bought it for me 1998. They were very popular back in the day. Their music was
Yeah.
everywhere, and I was obsessed with their song called Pepe. So I was singing it all the time, and me and my friends wanted to make this choreography. So I said to my mom, "Can you please buy the CD for me? I promise I will take care of it like crazy." And so she said, like, okay. So she bought it for me, and that's how everything started. This was my first CD, and this is my favorite group in the world. So what can I say? And I have it signed by Tabata. So yes, yay!
Oh,
oh,
so it's even more special.
Even more
Yes.
special.
I
Yes.
forgot to mention that I have this tattoo. I don't know if I can show that. It's a
It's a
record, like a
CD.
vinyl.
yes,
Oh,
like a vinyl.
It's a
Yes.
vinyl,
oh, it's a
actually.
vinyl.
I
Okay.
can show properly for you guys, but
Okay.
I made this for my father. Like, is for him because he collects vinyl. He's the reason why I collect. So it's for him. This so
Hmm.
is very special. This connection too.
Oh, I
And
want to, sorry, my Luquitas, I want to share an story about it. When I saw
yeah,
Lucas tattoo that he showed, I was like, oh my God, I like so much this tattoo. So I had this tattoo right now. I can show you.
it's hard to
Like
show.
it's a
Oh, you have a
It's
yes,
there, the
cassette.
tape.
yes, like it's a
Yes.
cassette because the cassette was the first format that I listened back in the day before the
Yes.
CDs, I think. Now I was remembering, and maybe it was a Bon Jovi cassette. It was not a CD. It was a cassette actually.
Oh, okay. So the
Oh,
Yes,
first is Stay So Rico for you.
yes, yes,
It
yes.
was the
great.
beginning.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Yeah. Oh,
So
talking about the Bon Jovi one. Talking about the Bon Jovi, I think it was like a cassette that I used to play.
mm.
Like,
I get it.
but the
Okay.
CD, the first CD, it was the Stay Rico one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Great.
And I told about the feeling when you find something that you are not expecting in some store, and sometimes you are even more lucky because this can cost like nothing, like very cheap, and you can be even happier. That happened. I gotta say, I'm very lucky with this. There's few things in my collection that I spend like a lot of money. Actually, I'm very patient, so sometimes I found something unexpected. but I remember one in specific that there's a girl here in Brazil called Luca,
Mm-hmm.
uh, kind of close to Lucas, but is Luca.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very popular in the early 2000s. 2003, she released the single Tô Nem Aí. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this song. Tô Nem Aí, Tô Nem Aí. It was like the number one song of 2003 here in Brazil.
Okay.
And I had this album, and she released the second one 2005 or 2006, and it's more pop rock. It was kind of good, but not huge like the first one. And there was like a supermarket here in the city that I live that was closing, and they put the second album by her for 50 cents. Like, and I
Okay.
couldn't believe that it was
Okay.
for
Wow.
50 cents. Oh my
Okay.
God, I
Okay.
gotta have this. And it
Yes.
was actually a good surprise because back then was not so simple to listen to a whole record online,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Brazil. There were not so many downloads for Brazilian album. It was more common to find international thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first time that I heard, and I actually love this album. So it's even better because I pay 50 cents for an album that is very part of my life now. Very good tracks in this album by Luca. So I want to
Great.
know if you guys have had this luck sometime in your lives. Please, Mao, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is the answer because the question is about the cheapest, you know? So this is not something that I love or something like that, but it was very curious because this random rapper that is not so
Is
popular,
Little Flip?
Little
Little
Flip,
Flip.
yes, Little
Okay.
Flip, yes. I remember I was listening different kind of music like in YouTube or something, and suddenly appears a song that is in the city called let me see it, Sunshine with a girl called Leah, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked so much the song in that moment. And in the same week, I was visiting a Prodiscos that used to be very popular CD store here in Colombia, and I saw the CD, and it was in the conversion was like 30 cents or something like that. It was very cheap, very cheap. Like
Almost free.
it was
Yes.
1,000 Colombian pesos. Yes, something like that, like 30,
Yeah.
30 cents in dollars.
Oh.
So yes, so I was like, oh my God, I like so much this song, and I discovered this song this week, and suddenly out of nowhere I found the CD from this guy. So I was like, okay, it's very cheap. It's
Yeah.
oh, I
You
can
gotta
have
have
it. So
this.
yes. So about it, I think I never listened to the CD again, and I only like this song, but that is the story, and this is the
Yeah.
cheapest of my collection. Yes, it was a funny story.
Sunshine was like huge hit in the US, but
Yes.
his only hit, yeah.
Oh, you remember the song? You remember the song, Luquitas?
I do
Oh,
remember.
okay.
Sunshine. Na, 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 na,
Mm.
na. Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
remember.
yes.
It was popular. And you, Marielle, tell me about your luck.
I was with my mom. I remember that we were at the city store called Mix Up here in Mexico. Obviously, every time we went to this mall, we have to go to Mix Up.
To
So
mix
I
up.
was just fooling around, like seeing what there was, and all of the sudden pops together
Uh,
Together.
again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so they have it, and the price was like this small. So I'm like, 16 pesos? And even I go to the seller, and I'm like,
yes.
is this a 16 pesos or $16? Because sometimes they put
Oh, okay.
in dollars. Sometimes it's weird. And he's like, no, it's 16 pesos because nobody knows them. And I'm like, I do. So
And I want it.
Yeah.
and I want it.
It was
So
made for you.
it was made for me. Yes. So 16 pesos is less than $1. So because I have found
Oh.
other albums by $1 or
By a
two.
dollar. Yes.
But this
Yeah.
one in Mexico was really, really cheap. So I'm like, I have to buy it. So it's 16 pesos. So
Awesome.
yes,
Yes.
so that's
Yes.
how I got it. I'm still
And I
missing
do
their
like this
first.
album. It's
I
very
do like
fun.
it
Yes.
too. So I'm still missing their first, but I'm really lucky to
Yeah.
find to have found this one. So yeah, part of my
Awesome.
cheapest.
Yeah, now that I knew that this was going to happen, I forgot about something. Because actually, there is one that was more cheaper than this one. When I went to Argentina, I found a CD store. There were like CDs in a place for 1 peso Argentino.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
And converting to my money in Brazil is like 10 cents, like
Oh,
nothing, almost nothing. And I found Emma Bunton's Free Me album
oh,
there, the second
Oh,
one.
really?
That
Duh.
here in Brazil is very hard to find. So I was like, no way, this is almost free. But I forgot about this, so I don't have the CD here right now to show you.
Oh,
But I have the Argentina version from Emma Bunton. So
oh,
it was very
great.
special too. Yeah.
actually,
But some,
actually, now that you mentioned that,
I knew
Luquitas,
it.
yes, when I was in Argentina in Buenos Aires one day for my work, I was in a place called, it's a library. It's not, but they sell CDs. I can't remember the name. It's a beautiful library, and
Yeah, in Buenos
they
Aires.
in Buenos Aires, yes.
I think I know. Yes.
But I can't remember the name. But it's a beautiful
Yeah.
library, and they had Stacy Orico Beautiful Awakening for very cheap. I can remember that it was like less than $1, you know?
Mm.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I have to have it. And actually, I was with a partner, with a coworker that also liked to collect, and he's a collector too. And I was like, oh, I want to buy this because it's very cheap. And he was like, oh, Stacey Rico like her too. And I was like, do you want it? Because I have it. It's an Argentinian
Yeah.
edition, but maybe you. And he was like, oh no, okay, it's good for me, but yes. And that day was special because he was a fan of Stacy too, and he
Oh,
remembers Stacy. Yes, yes, he likes so much Britney and Christina and this kind of stuff too.
oh,
And I didn't
great.
Yeah.
know till that day.
It's so exciting when you see those prices and like, this is true. Yay!
Yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
sometimes it can happen the opposite of this, like can be very expensive. And sometimes we just know that we want so much, some CD or item for our collection that the price kinda don't care, but we know how much we work for that. For example, my example that I will show you, I was in a job for years, so I made like a deal to get out of this job, like if I was sending home, but actually I won it. So when that happened in Brazil, you receive all the money
Mm.
that was saved.
Yes.
So in this time, I thought I will grab the amount of money that I think if someday I find this item, I can buy it. And I put in the bank, and it was
Mm.
there for like
Uh,
2 years, I believe. And this item was a vinyl actually from Sandy Jr. that I think I already showed here in some episode that we did. That is very rare because it's actually a promo they made for Europe, for DJs, to play some remixes in the clubs when
yes.
they were trying the international career with the song "Words Are Not Enough." Actually, the same song that Steps
Mm.
recorded too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I became a DJ, I met a huge DJ here in Sorocaba that gave me some classes to aprimorate like my art. Like I was uh, learning how to play electronic music, and he is also a collector. And we were talking about collection and everything, and I mentioned that my biggest collection is Sunday Junior, and he said, "Oh, I have vinyl from then. The words are not enough." It was like, no way, no way! I have the money to buy it. Can you sell it? And actually, he sell it to me. So is this one
Yes. No,
Mm.
it's
here?
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
and it's
rare.
very beautiful because it's white, like white
Yes.
Oh.
vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Yes, it wasn't that expensive as I was expecting. Like he did a little bit lower, but it's still like a lot more than I would pay for some item in my collection, but it was totally worth it. I do
But
love
you
have
you
this
have
in
you
my
have to
collection.
share the price,
Yes.
Luquitas.
Okay, when this shows up here in Brazil for sale, is like uh, wait, because I'm always confusing with numbers in English, like 800, 800, I believe.
800.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Eight,
yes, 800.
yes, is how people ask. So I pay
Eight hundred
500
dollars, right?
reais. Yes, in
Ah,
reais
Oh,
reals. Okay,
reales.
our money. So I
okay,
paid 500,
Oh,
which for us is a lot of money. Like
okay.
is
Like
some
yes.
people work for 1,000 money for in a month, so I pay like half of the salary of a lot of people. So
wow.
it
Okay,
was very
okay,
expensive.
okay,
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
wow.
Yeah.
It was like
So
I think it was like $70, Mariel.
I'm not really sure how the
mm,
real is now. With
Yes,
so
yes. Well,
dollar here in Brazil is five.
it's five
Like one
reais, right?
$1 is five
It's
oh, it's
five
reais.
better
Yes.
reais.
than
Okay.
us. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm so bad with numbers.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
expensive,
yeah.
Uh,
The
believe me.
three of us like doing the math. No, no.
No, I'm not good with math.
like
Moving
I'm
on.
like
Yes.
Yeah, no. So, and you, Mariela, do you have
oh
one
yes,
item to
it is
show?
wasn't as expensive as the one you just mentioned, but it happened the same day because I have
Yeah.
two items that were the same price. I was in Las Vegas in this store called Zia Records, and I was with Jordan Lake, a friend of ours, so, who also watches our
Yeah.
show. Hello, Jordan. And I was, there's it's a huge store, so I was fooling around like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want it, like looking, and all of a sudden it pops, it pops. The Empress's
Impress.
album,
Yes.
completely sealed. It was new, completely new,
New.
because most of the things that you find in Zia Records are used, but this one was
Of course.
new.
Oh,
So I'm like $20. Why not? It's worth it. So
Okay.
it was $20.
yeah.
And that same day, Jordan is like, weren't you looking for this one? And I'm like, yay, because I
Uh,
couldn't find it here. It was, I don't know why I couldn't find it here in Mexico. So it was also
yeah.
$20. So that same day, I spent $40 on two
$40.
on two albums.
Yeah.
So, but they were totally worth it because Empress is one of those
Yeah.
underrated groups, bubblegum underground, and
Yeah.
Mariah is my idol.
Maybe you wouldn't find anymore
Exactly.
the Empress album if
So
yeah,
I thought it's now or
it's very
never.
rare.
It's now or never.
This album
You're
is
right.
from what year, Mariel? The Empress album?
2001.
2001, and the year that you bought it was what year?
2018.
Okay, and it was sealed.
It was sealed as well as
It's
Mariah's. So they
incredible
were
that
new.
almost 20
Yeah.
years later, the album
Yeah.
was still new. So
Yes.
yes, it was worth
I
it.
love
So I
this.
thought
Yes.
I
There's
definitely.
so many stories
Yes. So
behind the CDs. That's
so
priceless. And
yeah.
Mauricio, I think I know yours because you have something very rare. So share with
Yes.
us and our audience, please.
Okay. I always dream about to have this one.
Mm.
I remember I was dating with a guy back in the day, like in 2018, and in my birthday, he gave me the EP of this one that was not so expensive, and it's a treasure too. But I always want this CD. Actually, I have a copy that I made back in 2004. Like it's very, it's very funny. It's very cheap. Like the image is very blurry, and this album, this CD, was in an auction. Yes, is like in
Oh, yeah. Oh,
subasta.
subasta auction. Yes.
Yes, an auction. Yes, in eBay. So this kind of things are very tricky,
Yes.
because when you start like offering money,
Bidding.
maybe you can lose control, you know?
Yes.
You
So
go with the flow and you want to win. You
yes,
want to win.
yes, and that time I was so lucky because I won the auction, I won the bid. So I finally had this CD.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
yes, I don't want to share the price. It
no,
was
no,
very
you share it now.
it was $100.
Dang.
Yes, yes. It was like credit card, go ahead because yes, I'm still
Yeah.
paying that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm still paying that. Yes, because it was this year actually.
Oh.
So yes,
Yeah.
this is
It's very
something
recent.
that people is going to know, like my family, because of this episode, because I never shared this information with anybody. Lucas knew it because we shared this in that moment. But
Yeah.
I never shared this information with anybody. The other day I was working and I was in Madrid, and I was with my cousin that lives there now, Lina, and we visited a store, a very beautiful and great store called La Metralleta there in Madrid. And I was talking about this story with her, and she was like, "No way, it's a lot of money." But at the end, she was like, "Okay, but this is the reason that why we work to have
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
kind of stuff."
Exactly.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yes, I
And
go
Mao,
with
you
that.
have one item that
Nobody
few
have.
people in the world can say that they have. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
And it,
it's
and it's
super
it's a
special.
Station
Yes.
Rico. It's a Station
And
Rico.
she's
Yes,
your
yes,
Yes.
idol.
Luquitas.
So, yeah.
Yes, she's my
Yes.
idol, and it
Exactly.
was worth it. It was funny because when I met Stacy, I had a picture of the collection, of the huge collection that I have. Of course, I didn't have this back in the day, like when I met her, but I was showing her like I have this and this, and she was like, okay, okay. It was funny because I know that maybe she's not like very connected, like, okay, thank you. But she was, of course, very kind and very sweet. But she was like not so impressed with the collection.
Oh.
It
Well,
was funny, but I'm happy to have it because she's my queen. She's my favorite.
yes. Oh, and I
Yeah.
forgot to mention, I'm
And
sorry, Lucas. When I bought
go ahead.
Empresses and Mariah's, uh, the dollar was really expensive here in Mexico back in
Okay, so it was more
2018.
money.
So if it was 40, yeah, almost like 1,000 pesos. So yeah, it was a lot for
Okay,
only 2 albums. But
2 albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I work.
Actually,
Totally work.
actually, $20 for a CD now it's a lot of
It's a lot.
money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money. And
Of course. Yes.
you know what is funny? I when I bought the Glitter album, it was very cheap for me here in Colombia. It was second-handed, but it
Oh.
was very cheap, like $3
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh. Well,
That's
But
funny.
I understand Mariel because for a while I don't collect Mariah anymore. I used to have a few things by her, but for a while here in Brazil was so hard to find this album. Nowadays, not that much you can find, but I remember that I was always looking for this one in the Charm
charm
Bracelet
bracelet.
album.
Okay.
The bracelet, thank you. It was not easy, but I wanna say to Mauricio's mama and family, don't get mad with him because our friend works a lot, so
Yes.
he deserves
Uh,
this.
we can say
Thank you,
we can
friend.
say that the three of us paid for these albums with our money. So
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. And I always
that's
said,
the
for
point.
example, one of my aunties and my grandma, I remember one day she told me like, "Oh, stop doing this. Maybe you must like invest your money in other things." And I was like, "Okay, grandma, I work. I never stop paying my bills. I
Yeah, there's
always
nothing missing.
Yes, my
Yeah,
obligations. I always pay my obligations, so month by month. So I have the right to spend in something that I like. I don't have kids,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And
yeah.
this is something that I say to everybody that criticize me for that.
Same.
And
Yes.
guys, if it wasn't CDs, would be any
Something
other thing
else.
like
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
clothes.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone loves something that
Yes.
spends a little money. That's really normal, and it's actually health. I believe that we have a hobby and a
It would be
passion,
better
right?
than spending it on
So
drugs. So, yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, only something that is not good. Actually, when I mention this to people, like to other people, people is very interested about it. Like, oh, it's very interesting for people when I mention that. Like, I'm a collector, and people is like, oh, what kind of
Yeah,
music you collect and what kind of
it's kind of
stuff?
cool.
And
Yeah.
yes, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Actually, I met a guy and he was like, "Oh, I like you so much because you collect music." He was not a collector, but he found this very interesting. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but I was like, "Okay, I'm cool because of that."
Yeah.
Yeah, we are
yeah.
cool
And
guys.
you are.
We're
We are
Yeah.
cool.
cool because of them. Yes.
So we were talking about passion, and I know that in the collection, as we are talking so far, there's always stories behind the CDs, like our stories, and sometimes I keep thinking, uh, who was the owner of the CD previously when it's a used one. There's
Hmm?
a lot of stories, and sometimes we can have like a special item that has some meaning differently for us. For example, for me, is Mire Flejo by Christina,
Mm-hmm.
because this album made me decide to be a collector. I remember this. I had like 10 years old, and I used to buy a lot of kids' music
Mm-hmm.
back then, like Chiquitita, Xuxa, Angelica, all the singers in Brazil, even Sandy Jr. that were actually kids back then too. Um, so I remember my dad took me to a store to buy a new CD for me as a gift, and in my head I wanted to buy. I think it was Yasmin, a singer here in Brazil that was the same age that I was.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned her because she recorded the Cabá songs and
Oh,
La Calle
Oh
de
yes, the
las
one
yes,
you told
La
us.
Calle de las
Yes.
Sirenas.
La Calle de las
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sirenas.
and I was ready to buy her album, but I found this. I think like this album was released like 3 days because I know that this was released in October of 2000, and it was the Kids Day here in Brazil. That is October 12th, so it was really new,
Mm-hmm.
and the music video of Ven Comigo was on MTV all the time in Spanish here, and I was obsessed with her, like the hair. My mom used to hate her back then. I don't know why. She was like, "This girl again on TV. This girl is very skinny." Things like this. And I decided to buy it. And I remember there was like a click in my mind. I don't know if I thought like, I'm growing up. I'm older now. I'm kind of teenager. I don't know. I'm buying older music, and so this was special, and it was the beginning of a real collection
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Mm-hmm.
besides the gifts of my father. So it's very special, and I want to know you guys an album with a special meaning by Mauricio.
Okay, when I start like buying CDs and start my collection, I was very focused on R&B music. Actually, till this year or last year, I start to buy different kind of stuff like pop and because of you guys too, because I was very focusing on R&B music. And this album
The heat. Yes.
the hit by Tony Braxton was a gift from my sister at the time. It was like she was a teenager at the time. I can't remember. Maybe she was 17 or 16, and she was not working. She didn't have like any kind of money to buy this or something like that. And she gave me this CD. It's very special. It was for a birthday or something. When I received this CD, I was so excited, and I was like, "Oh my God, you paid the CD and you are not working. You don't receive money." So she was very sweet, and she
I'm about to cry.
till some oh yes till I don't know, maybe 2 years 5 years ago she started listening to different kind of music. Of course she still loves some things that we used to share with her. She loves Stacey Rico and Rachel Lampa and R&B music, Mariah, this kind of stuff, but she's not like into that music anymore. at that time she was very fan of Tony Braxton and stuff like that. So it was very cool because we had the opportunity to share this CD and listening to the CD and stuff like that. She
Oh
loves.
yeah.
He wasn't man enough. So
Oh,
yes, it was very
wow,
special.
that's so cute.
Yeah, it was like an effort
Yes, for
that she made
you.
Yes, yes,
to you. So
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
it's very
yes.
special. I
It
was
was
listening
very
to He
special.
Wasn't Man Enough before we start to record it. I had no
It's
idea you are about to
an
mention this
amazing
album.
Oh,
jam.
really?
It's one
It's
of the
very good.
best R&B jams in the
Yes.
world.
Yes, totally,
Yeah.
totally. Of course,
So
one of my
good.
favorites actually. Yes,
No,
yes,
it's
yes.
beautiful.
Tony Braxton is
Yes.
one of my
Marielle
queens.
is already
Yes, because
emotional. If if I'm right about the album that you are going to talk about, you're going to be more emotional. So please go ahead. I don't know if I'm right.
okay,
Maybe I'm wrong.
years ago, when I was 8, my family and I became friends with the veterinarians that worked right across, like a few meters from our home. They became great friends with the family, and one of them, my uncle Daniel, because I used to call him uncle, passed away uh, in 2008 when he was only 40 years old. So it was very devastating because he was such a good friend of the family. He was always there for us, and it's one of those shocking deaths out there. Like one of those that I just
Okay.
can't believe happened because he was so young and everything happened so fast that, like, so every time I think of my uncle Daniel, he was Mexican, but he was half Haitian from Haiti. So he
Huh?
was he was black. He was a beautiful person, and now his partner, who worked with him, Andres, is now going to be my compadre with for my daughter's upcoming birthday. So I have a lot of close connection to my tío Daniel, and I remember he gave me when I turned 9, he gave me Savage Garden's affirmation,
Uh,
and in one Christmas we made one of these exchanges. I don't know if you guys do it, like, oh, I have this
yeah.
person and I have to buy him something.
Amigo
Amigo secreto,
secreto
yes.
here in
Amigo
Brazil.
Yes,
secreto.
so,
Yes,
and I
yes.
was
Yes.
his amigo secreto for that Christmas, and so he gave me Jessica Simpson's A Public Affair.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
That's the one I thought you were
these
mentioning.
two
Yes.
are like really, really close to me because they were given by someone who was very, very special and that I miss so much every day. So, Tio Daniel, Uncle Daniel, if you're watching this wherever you are, know that I still carry them with me. And I have another story. It's a quick one. I was in
Yeah.
fifth grade, and it was a time that I suffered from more bullying back in the day. So my mom knew that I was always in low, a little sad. So,
Down.
um, one time that I arrived from school, she said, "You should go up and look at your bed because there's something there waiting for you." And so I went up, and she bought the Britney Spears, From the Bottom of My Broken Heart single.
Um,
Yes.
Oh.
So it was beautiful because I was in love with Britney back in the day. And she made me feel so happy because even though it's a single, it only has 2 songs. I felt
yeah.
so happy and so close to my mom, and I will always remember the day she gave me this and the words she said. And
Very
Yeah.
so when
beautiful,
I came down
yes.
and I'm like, "Oh, why why did you buy this for me? Because I know you are going through a lot of stuff and I wanted to give you something to cheer you up." So, yes,
Oh,
thanks, Ma.
Oh,
Um it's one of the ones I cherish the most.
yes, yes.
Yeah. But well,
Oh, beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful story, beautiful
yeah.
story.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Another side of our
Yes.
collection. Really
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
beautiful.
yes.
Yeah, guys. Moving on. It's kind of weird to moving on after we got so emotional, but we gotta move on.
Yes.
Uh, I do love the rare things. Like the focus in my collection is to find rare
Mm-hmm.
things, especially singles and promos. Uh, are kind of my thing in the collection. So we are talking now about the most rare thing in our collection. I have a few, and what made me choose this one is something that I already mentioned here, um, in some episode. That is this one by
Mm,
Sandy
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
Junior. It's a single, Dig Dig Joy. It's a song that they sang as a kids in 1996, and this I found out that this is probably the most rare because there's collectors in Brazil always asking me to
Oh.
sell
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
this because there's few people in the discogs.com that has this one, so they always send messages like, tell me your price, I want to buy it. Is because it's very rare. And then I ask Sandy to sign it for me. It's very small. I don't know if you guys can see, but
Yes. Oh,
she
yes.
signed it
Yes.
in the
Yes,
concert,
yes.
and she never saw it before, too.
Oh.
She was like, "Oh, I don't have this one," and I was like telling her
Yay.
this is was a promo for the radio when you released this song, and she was like, "Oh, that's rare. I never saw it." So now I know that it's pretty rare
It's
because
really
even
And
rare.
it's
Sandy,
signed. And it's signed, darling. So yeah.
And it's
yeah,
signed.
and now it's signed, so I
Even
would
more
never sell
expensive
this,
now,
guys. Give up.
yes.
Yes. And Marielle, I'm very curious
Hmm.
to know what's your more
Oh,
rare
yes.
item.
Yes, baby. The name may sound familiar, but it's not the girl that you think she is. So it's a girl
Ah,
named Jojo, but it's
Jojo.
not
Jojo.
Okay.
Jojo from Get Out, Leave. This girl is
Yeah.
Jojo Kemp. This is a Japanese edition because it was only released in Japan. So it has
Yeah.
13 tracks, and I have the obi strip here and
Yes.
the Japanese booklet. It's all in Japanese, so you can understand the thing. But but this is like one of the weirdest albums I have. I don't think every time I go into Discogs, I think only two people in the world have it, and one of them is me. So this is when I found it on Discogs by someone who had it. Did I put it? Yeah, I put it there. So I'm like, okay, let's hope it arrives. I ordered it twice. It never got the first time. And then I found it again,
Oh,
and then it's like this time it has to come, and it finally came.
yeah.
So yeah, this is the weirdest album I have, and everybody is always asking, can you send me a link to download it because it's not available on any digital platform,
Yeah.
and as well as Zoom's album, which is
Yes.
this is also
That's very
Japanese
rare too.
edition, and I
Yeah.
bought this on eBay. Yeah, years ago. So these two would be my weirdest albums out there because I'm a huge fan of underground pop music. So yeah,
Yes. And it's very
for me
underground.
Yes.
these
Yes,
are very
totally.
weird.
Gems, totally.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, and this album by this JoJo is actually very good. I had a chance to listen uh once,
Yeah.
and it's good. And she sometimes she flirt with some
Yes.
R&B too, like the other JoJo,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
It's
it's
kind of
funny
cool.
because in the cover she looks like a
Like
little like
JoJo.
Jojo,
Little
like
bit
Jojo
like
Lebeck.
JoJo.
Yes.
Yes,
So
it's funny.
and this
Yes.
album got first
And
because this one is 2001. So this is the original JoJo.
this is the original one. Yeah.
Because I
But
remember when Jojo Siwa came out,
Yeah.
people were like, no, the real Jojo is Too Little Too Late Jojo.
Yes.
So now
and here in
now we
Brazil
know
we
that.
have a JoJo too.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Actually, JoJo, yes, JoJo Todinho, her name. She sings funk, like she's a big personality in TV now, like she's very famous. And when people post some meme by her in internet, some funny things, they always use the song Too Little Too Late to make a joke.
Oh,
Like
okay.
she's talking, Too Little Too Late is playing like some remix with some Brazilian influence. Is very funny. And Marielle, you mentioned that you consider those albums weird, and I asked you about the rare. So is are
Yes, they're
the
rare.
rare things or the
Yes, they
weird?
are rare
The rare.
because I
Okay.
don't I don't know anyone who has them. Or yes.
Yes, and very
Yeah.
awesome. Mauricio, what about you?
Well, I also have
Say it
yes,
again for us.
I also have rare things by Stacey Rico, but this time I go with a different stuff. I have this one
Okay.
that is the debut album in cassette by Miss Whitney
Oh,
Houston.
okay.
This is very
Oh,
this is very rare because it's from Colombia. You can read it here,
Mm-hmm.
Sonolux. That was
looks.
an important label here in Colombia. Um, and when you look for this copy, like in this specific copy in Discogs, is expensive. Is expensive, and there is like one available, and it's expensive, and it's here in Colombia
Oh.
actually. It's like $35, and I bought it here like very cheap. But it's very rare because of that because I don't know. At that time, Sonolux was a record label, but at the same time had different kind of stuff from like they maybe this company worked like to import things and to make the versions
Okay.
and to sell here in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the reason,
Oh,
and it's very rare because of that.
Oh,
The Sonolux,
awesome.
awesome.
Great.
yes,
Yes, that's the magic of traveling
Mm-hmm.
because if you go to Discogs and look for Brazilian things, it's always expensive because they are
yes.
selling for people all over the world, and you can find here like very easily most of those things. So that's why I love to travel, and I hope to do more because you have the chance to
Yes.
find things like
When
this.
when
Yes,
you guys
yes,
And
come to
yes. It's
Mexico
funny.
together, because I know you guys will come next year, I will take you to Salto del Agua,
yes,
darling. There is a huge mercado there, and I will take you to see all the albums there.
please.
So,
Oh,
Actually,
thank you. I
actually,
really want.
actually, there is. It was a plan that always made with Luquitas when I visit. The two times that I visited Sao Paulo, we went to a different kind of stores and found different kind of good things.
oh,
Yes.
Yes, so
We
it's a
got
plan that we
all
have to.
dirty
Oh
with
yeah,
the old
you get all
CDs.
dirty.
Yes.
Yes, I love that feeling.
I
yeah.
love it too. Yeah. So we were talking about the rare, and Marielle mentioned weird. Sometimes things are weird. I have in my collection a weird item that I already show here too, but I will show again. That is Sunday Junior. This thing that is a card. I think I show it before. I
Oh,
Oh,
don't remember,
yes.
but is like a telephone card, but it's a CD. Like there's a
oh,
song
okay, okay,
here.
okay,
That
okay.
is the song El Amor No Fallará in Spanish. It was released in Ecuador.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay.
this is very rare. Like here in Brazil, they are making fake. Fake of these in cards and selling on Shopee for people
Hmm?
to have in their collection, but it's not even a CD. It's only a
The
card,
card,
fan made. Yes. One friend
but the
of
one you
mine
have is
had
the
this.
CD.
I don't know how, and he gave me. Sorry, mom.
The one that you have is the original one, right?
This is
From
the
Ecuador,
original. It's a
yes.
CD. Yes, and to play this, you can only play in that type of stereo that opens. Uh, it's like the mini radio that the CD is
Oh,
above
mm-hmm.
that you click and
Mm-hmm.
opens.
Yes.
Because in the computer and other things,
It can be
this
read.
No.
Yes. Mm.
don't play cannot be played. So I think this is very
That is
weird. I
weird.
don't have anything weirder than this in my collection.
Okay.
I want to know about you guys. You guys have something different for some reason, Mauricio?
Well, this is not rare because of the album per se, because it's Shakira's the first, not the first, but it's the third really, but it
Yeah.
was like the when she became really
Mm-hmm.
popular and
Mm-hmm.
famous. It's weird because of the story. When I was in 11th grade in high school, there was a girl that was so disgusting and she was a bullied. She was nasty. She was like a
Mm-hmm.
bad person. But out of nowhere, at that time, I was very fan of Shakira in that moment. And out of nowhere, she was like, "Oh, you like Shakira? I have this album that I never listened. So you want it?" It was very like,
Mm-hmm.
you
Random.
are, yes, because she was very nasty to me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. At first, and I thought she was like playing with me or something like that. Like, oh, okay, what is she gonna do? You know? But next day, she was like, okay, here it is. It is in a very bad condition. You know, like I think it's not possible to see, but it's very like very
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
damaged. You know, and actually, the real bootleg it's broken, but my friend Marlon actually helped me with this because he made a new
Mm.
one. But this is the real bootleg. It's like here is something with pen and yeah,
Yeah.
it is a very bad condition. But it was weird
All
because
right.
of this story because I
Mm-hmm.
never expect that
Yeah.
this person
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
giving
Like
me
But
out of
something.
that
So
nowhere.
yes.
proves my theory about the people who made bullying with others. Most of them, the
Yeah.
problem is about them. So
Yes,
she
totally.
didn't hate you. It was a problem with herself, and I don't know. It was not about you. So that's why she gave to you this album.
Yes, yes,
Maybe that's
yes.
how she could express
Yeah.
something good
Finally.
for a
Yeah.
change.
Yes, yes, finally. Yes, yes,
Finally,
yes.
yes. And you, Marielle, do you have
I don't
something
have it at
weird for
hand because
us?
when I moved, a lot of stuff got in my bodega. How you call bodega? In
In
the
the
yeah,
basement
in
or
the
in
no,
the
it's upstairs.
Uh,
No, it's not in
Soto,
that.
the
It's
Soto.
el
uh-huh,
azotea.
Here,
yes.
Brazil.
Like well,
Ah,
it's
okay, okay.
in
In the
we
yes,
have a
terrace.
special room
uh,
upstairs for the maid, but it's not used for the maid. We keep things there. So
Okay.
it's there, so I couldn't go.
the warehouse or something
And
like that.
it's an
Yes. It's like a
like a
warehouse. I
warehouse,
don't
yes.
know.
So I have it's a
Yes.
sample album by Angel Faith that came in a magazine that I bought when I was in Los Angeles.
Oh, do
Yes,
you have
it came
this?
on a magazine, and it has the Just the Way I Am whole song and samples of other songs from her album. But I will
Yeah.
have to look for it because I'm pretty sure it's up there. So
Yeah, this is
yes,
very cool. I saw this CD a few months ago online. Someone was talking that pages that we follow, like
mm,
the year 2000s and things on Instagram. Someone posted
yeah,
about this. Very cool. I never knew
yes, but
that
I
you
have
have
to
it.
look for it.
Yeah,
Promise.
you gotta
Yes,
find this. You gotta find this.
Yes, because
Yes.
we want
yeah.
to see it.
Sorry, I couldn't go find it. But well,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, there's something beautiful about traveling, about the collection that are the different versions of the albums. For example, in Colombia, I know that this one is very easy to find with remixes.
Yes.
Here in Brazil, only the regular version. In Mexico, the stripped album by Christina has the Spanish song
Yes.
Dame lo que
Mm-hmm.
yo te doy. Uh,
Yes.
we don't have this in Brazil. Like here in Brazil, we have the Enrique Iglesias album with Sandy Jr. track that you guys don't have.
Yes.
Shakira's album with Portuguese
Oh.
tracks, very different. And so I do love this. I already showed here in our video cast a lot of Brazilian stuff. So I decided to bring something that I never showed before. That is a promo single by
Mm-hmm.
RBD. Uh, they released Nuestro Amor as the first single of the second album, but here in Brazil it was released as a single, the
Mm.
Portuguese version,
No, so-
Nosso Amor. So this is a single released only here in Brazil, and the
Okay.
cover is different from the other versions in Spanish and released in
Okay.
other countries, and it's very rare to find. But
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
I saw today people making fan-made version of this
Of
too
course.
and selling on Shopee. So, but this is the original. I believe is something that I never showed, so I decided to show this one. I want to know, Mariel, there's something in your collection that is exclusive
I'm not
from
really
your
sure if
country.
it's exclusively from Mexico, but I know that Jennifer Lopez is on the six. This version is completely different from the American one because it has more
Okay.
Spanish tracks, other songs that were. It doesn't have some songs that are on the English version because it has more in Spanish. Like for
Oh,
example, "Could This Be Love?" and um Talk About Us. Those are in Spanish, and there's a tropical remix of No Me
oh,
Ames, and yeah, that's that's what I think it's different because there are versions that are
okay.
not
Yes.
on the others. So
Yeah, it's
on the
more
Latin
focused on
market.
the
So I'm not
Latin
really sure if
market,
it's
this
only for
version.
Mexico or if also applies in other Latin American countries. So, but I think yes,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
the one.
Okay. Okay. I have to check mine.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
have
I
to
think
check
that
let's
this
mine.
go.
version by Britney, it
Yeah.
has the answer, which I don't think it's found on a lot of other versions of In the Zone.
I think it was for Latin America
Oh,
because here in Brazil is a bonus track to the answer, but I think the
it
US
doesn't have
version,
it.
you are right,
Yes.
is not
Those
there.
are the
But
ones that I thought.
yes, and I love
The
the
answer,
song. The answer
it
is
was
very hip
written
hop
by
R&B.
P. Diddy.
Yes.
So,
Ah,
yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Do you know the song, Mal?
No, I was thinking about it and I have
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
to
you're
listen to
going
the
to like it.
song. I
Yes,
think I'm going to like it. Yes.
I think too. And what's your example, Mal, from Colombia for us?
Well, I have to share this story with you. This is when you see this, it's like the promotional edition of I
Mm-hmm.
Get Lonely. But it was very funny because I was in this store here in Bogota that I used to bought a lot of stuff, like, and the owner is very nice and very good, and all the time he's like, I have this one and this one. A long time ago, I I'm not visiting this store anymore because, of course, right now I have the opportunity to buy in different kind of stores around the world. Thank God. But
Yes.
I used to go there very often. And one day I love this song. I love this song. And there is a remix with Blackstreet,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
he was like,
This song's
I
by
have
Janet, right?
yes,
Janet Jackson?
yes, Janet
Okay.
Jackson, yes, and that time he had this one, and he was like, "Oh, I know you like Janet Jackson," and I was like, "Oh, okay." It's not common for me to collect a lot of
Mm-hmm.
singles, only from the artists that I really love. So, of course,
Yeah.
Steve Rico and maybe Mariah Whitney. But I was like, okay, I like this song, and there is this version that um, actually this song was not available on the platforms, the version with Blackstreet. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay. And suddenly I posted in Discogs that I included this one in my collection in Discogs, and a lot of people start like asking, how much for this one? And I was like, but it's normal. It's like the single, but I discover this single is very special because there is a version of that is called the Velvet Mix by DJ Whitey or something like that. That is only in this one, and it's called is Colombian. So
Oh,
I didn't know about it when I bought it. I didn't know anything about it. And out
yeah,
of
that's
yes,
awesome.
people start like texting me like, how much for this one? Please, can you share? Can you read this with me? So I was like, it's the norm, it's a regular version, but I discovered it's a Colombian version
Oh,
that is very exclusive. So
nice.
yeah, the I Get Lonely
Awesome.
by Janet Jackson. Yes.
That's what I'm talking
Yes, and
about. That's
actually
the life of the collector.
Actually, it says like promocional prohibida su venta, like promotional
Yeah.
forbidden to
This is
to sell
something
or
that I
something like
love
that.
to
Yes,
read.
yes, yes,
Yes.
Promotion.
yes.
There's a guy on Discogs that his nickname is Promosexual.
Yeah.
Like he's addicted to promos. I think this is so clever, so smart, and I kind of feel the same. I'm
Promosexual.
a promosexual for
Actually,
sure.
actually, promosexual. This promosexual. His real name is Michael or something. This guy,
Oh, do you know him?
this guy was the one that sell the So Pray single by Stacey Rico.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes, he was the one that sell to me
Oh.
this album.
yeah. That
Yeah,
is a promo.
yeah, that is a
That's
promo.
why he has.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Wow.
Great. So, guys, we continue to buy CDs and music, sometimes more, sometimes less, because we have bills, we have things to pay.
yeah.
But I try to continue. I have like this goal to buy at least one album or single or anything by month, which is something that
Okay.
I'm not
Same.
doing, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not buying that much, but this month I bought like two. I Our friend
Mm.
Adrian, hey Adrian, he showed me a Christian band called
Mm-hmm.
Jake. Uh, that is a good example of what I mentioned at the beginning of this, because he told me about, and I just could find like two songs that has music videos on YouTube and nothing else, and I really like it. It's very similar to BB Mac, that is a band that I really like, and it's not on the platforms, it's not on YouTube, it's anywhere. And luckily, I found the CD in Mercado Livre here in Brazil, a Brazilian edition, which is more random, and I bought it. And then like I was okay. I this month I'm in. I got a new album, but 2 days later there was a guy on Facebook selling a bunch of CDs. He took like a picture
Mm-hmm.
with so many different albums, like any CD for 10 reais, our money in Brazil, which is a good price, very cheap. And then I saw that the photo was not that good. It was kind of blurry. I saw something like this very far. And I was like, this
What
looks
is that?
like Britney Spears, Me
Mm-hmm.
Against the Music. I don't know how I knew it, but I was like, and I sent a message, this is Britney Spears. And he sent me,
Oh.
and it was. And it was the Brazilian version. So the guy doesn't doesn't know what he had on the hands, because it's very rare. Even if it was the US or UK for 10,
Mm-hmm.
it would be good. I would buy it, but the Brazilian version was like, I'm super lucky, I'm super happy, I gotta have it. And I only believe it when, uh, as Marielle with the JoJo album, when it arrived and was in my hands. I was kind of thinking, I don't know, maybe he will send another
Yes.
thing. It never
Mm-hmm.
come, I don't know, but it's here. It
Wow.
was real. So this is my last item in my collection,
Oh, it's
the Brazilian
great.
promo from Britney. Yeah, and you guys continue to buy things. Let me know, Marielle,
Well,
what is the last one?
yeah, I had that same idea of buying at least one a month, but I have a
Yeah,
daughter and a lot of bills to pay, so
yeah,
sometimes I have to, sacrifice the things I like to give others to my daughter. So the last I
of
got,
course, yeah.
because I love girl groups, was Entices, all day, every day. Uh, this is the
Yeah.
one. I didn't actually remember that I ordered it until it arrived at my parents' house, because I don't know why I always send stuff there, and my dad said something came for you, and I'm like, what? So when I open it, I'm like, oh my god, I did order this. I didn't remember. So it was this one, and there's one more on the way, because I finally got the chance to order the 411 Between the Sheets album. Yes, because I love girl
Oh,
groups. So yeah, but
great.
I this is the last one I got, and it's a very fun album, full pop music. Yay! This is the last.
Okay. It's from
Yeah.
what
This
year?
is 1990.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. I gotta listen. It looks like it
Oh
has
yes,
a
of
little
course, of
R&B.
course. Yes,
Am I wrong?
yes. You will like
Ah,
it. You will
okay.
like
Yeah.
it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And you, Mal, the last one.
Well, this story is the continuation of the story I was sharing with you. I was in, because of my work, I was in
Mm-hmm.
Madrid with my cousin, and we were in a restaurant, a very good restaurant. We had the lunch, and I realized that we were very close to this place. I'm doing this commercial for free for the La Metralleta.
La
So,
Metralleta.
yes, so I was like, oh, okay, come with me to a city store that is very nearby. And she was like, okay. And I was like looking, and I bought this one. This one because of you guys, because I knew the album forever. I like so much this Crimea River, and but I never had the opportunity to buy it. So I think I thought in that moment like this is the moment to buy it, and it was
Yeah.
very cheap. And this album
Alejandro.
is so special for me. Yes, El Alma
Mm-hmm.
Alegre by Alejandro Sanz. I think this is the first album that I had the opportunity like listen more aware, you know? This is because a courtesy of my
Mm.
cousin Jerry Lee again, because at that time she was living with us here in Bogota with my family, with my dad and my mom and my siblings. She was living with us, and she was obsessed. She was very fan of Alejandro Sanz, and it was in 2000. And she bought this album, and she had this man, and all the time I was like listening to this album and enjoy it so much,
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro's music. So during all of these years, because I was focused in R&B, I never maybe was interested in buying another kind of stuff like Latin or pop
Yeah.
or whatever, or CCM actually. That Adrian is helping me so much with the CCM collection, because he bought a lot of stuff for me. Thank you, Adrian.
Yes.
And
Yeah, thank
I
you.
decided that I had to have this album. It's a very special album of my life. I think
Oh.
it's very
Yeah.
special. That moment in time was very special, like
Mm-hmm.
2000, 2001. I
Yeah.
share this story all the time. That was a very special time in music, so this album is from that moment, and I decided to buy it last
Oh,
Thursday,
great.
Friday, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing how family and people can create these magical songs for us. Like for me, for example, uh my I don't remember the name in English. The
Your
brother of my
uncle.
father is
Oh, Uncle.
my uncle had a girlfriend when I was a kid. They are not together anymore, but she was obsessed
Mm-hmm.
with Roxette and
Yes.
DJ Bobo. I don't know if you
Yes.
guys are familiar with
Yeah.
DJ
He-
Bobo.
DJ Bobo
And
was
she,
the heaven, the this version of heaven.
No, that's
We're in
DJ
heaven.
Jano.
no,
Dun, dun, dun,
DJ
no,
no.
Sammy.
this is
DJ
DJ
Sammy.
Sammy.
DJ Sam.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
Jano.
okay,
DJ
okay,
Sammy
Yes.
and Giuliano both together. Yes,
okay, okay.
DJ
Who
Bobo
is?
had a song like everybody, come on. No, there's a party, come on, oh DJ, there is a
Mm-hmm.
party. Something like this. There's one that is everybody too. That's why
Okay,
I'm
I
mixing both.
know, I know that I have a DJ Bobo song in my playlist to run, but I have to check. But
Yes,
I know that yes.
everybody move your
Mm.
feet to the
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
rhythm
that
of
no
this.
your thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
every
That
time I'm
that
on the
one.
supermarkets or something, and there's a party or everybody play, I think about this
Mm-hmm.
auntie that is not my auntie, but I continue to calling her
Mm.
auntie. So it's very special how they
Yes.
create things for us.
Yes,
Uh,
totally.
yeah. Actually, I think your father, Mariel, likes the electric
Yes.
liked
We went to the concert
orchestra.
together.
My father
It was
too.
awesome. Yes.
Oh,
I
that's
love them.
beautiful. Yeah, so we have a lot of
Oh,
people that
yes.
influence us. And guys, I
For
want to
sure.
know now to finish. This is actually my last question. We have a bunch of things in our collection, but we always have like a treasure, something that is our favorite And for me, I already showed it too. That is the Britney Spears
Mm-hmm.
Toxic Brazilian promo. I do love everything here. The cover is very beautiful. It's the only country in the world with this cover is exclusive for us. So the CD is beautiful. There's only one track because it's for radio.
For the
So there's
radio.
only Toxic. Yeah, I don't remember if there's any picture. Ah, there's a picture inside,
Mm-hmm.
like this one. So this is very special for me because I was not expecting to find this. Actually, I never realized that I bought this in the same day that my grandma
Mm-hmm.
passed away.
Oh, okay.
It was a day that was very confusing to me because I was in Sandy's concert, so it was a good moment for me, and I was sleeping, and then I wake up to go to bathroom, I think, or drink water, and I decide to check Mercado Livre out of nowhere. For people that are watching us and do not know what Mercado Livre is,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the eBay from Brazil.
And for Mexico.
And
And
for
I
Latin
decide to
America. Yeah, for Latin
yes,
America.
yes.
Yes.
I decided to check out of nowhere, and back then you could see the items that were putting to sell in the day. Like you have this option. Now you don't have this anymore. So I used to check all the time, and someone just posted this for sale, and I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like desperate to buy because it was not that expensive for an item like this, and I was super happy. And then at the morning, I discovered sadly that my grandma passed
Mm-hmm.
away,
Mm.
and we have the sad day, the memorial, and everything. And later, when I got home, I was like trying to thinking something else, like trying to not to think about the sad day that I had, and I went to eBay just to look, and suddenly someone was selling Sunday Junior French single for Love Never Fails that I was looking for years. So it all the
Mm.
same day. So
It
I don't
was your
know. Maybe
grandma,
Grandma blessed me.
definitely.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, with those things in my collection. But it was like
Yeah.
a lot of things in a day. So I never realized that happened all the day, but this is my most special things for all those reasons. So I want to know your favorite
Well,
item,
I have also
Marielle,
showed this
please.
too because you know how much I love Close to You. So and how powerful their
Yeah.
whole music is to me. So I have their all of their singles and their debut album, which is also the Japanese version. Um, and Close to You has
Yeah.
been very close to me over the past years. Over the past 10 years, they have been like my favorite group after Jeans because you know I love Jeans. So, but their music,
Hmm.
even though they only released this album, I feel so connected to their music, to their songs, to everything that involves Close to You. So yes, it's the entire Close to You collection that's from Nice and Nasty to Baby Don't Go, Somebody, Somebody with Booklet, Hold Me Now, and Friends. So yes, my Close to You collection is the one I cherish the most because I love these girls. They know it because I have sent
Yes.
them this
And
collection and they were like, "Where did you get this?" And I'm like, "Well, from because they're from the Netherlands." And I'm like, "Well, from the Netherlands, I have ordered them." And one of them told me, "I don't even have those CDs." So yes, they know I love them so much. So yeah, Close to You. Mm.
that's the best part. And they are
Yeah.
I'm
rare at the
sorry?
same time, Ariel. They are rare. They are
Yes, because
rare
I
at the
don't
same
know
time.
anybody that has them. At least
Yes,
friends, close friends, you know? So,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And yours, Mauricio, what's your favorite?
Well, I used to collect only CDs
Mm-hmm.
like Mariel, and this one guy that I date back in 2018, like the guy that I was mentioning, he was very
Mm.
into vinyls. He's a huge fan of Mariah Carey. So he was like, "Oh, you should buy vinyls," and he was looking for vinyls by Stacio Rico. And people that don't know, Stacio Rico doesn't have any complete album, like a studio album in
Yes.
vinyl, only promos and singles and stuff like that. And he gave me the single in vinyl. But then I was like into vinyls because of him. I have to be honest. And
Mm.
this one, that is my
Mm,
favorite album of Mariah. I always dream about to have it in vinyl, but the first edition was very, very expensive. It was like
Mm-hmm.
impossible to buy. But
yeah.
in 2020, Mariah released these special editions, like were
Mm.
celebrating the
Mm-hmm.
30
Mm-hmm.
years of career. So they released all of the albums in vinyl format. So I was in New York actually in my vacations, and I was in Barnes and Nobles. That is a
Mm-hmm.
huge library there, and I discovered that they had this one, and I was like, oh my god, I have to have it. So it was not so expensive because it is a new edition, like this new edition. It was not it is not the first one. Like actually, it says like the recreated from the original release, remastered.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, yes, but finally I
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to have the Butterfly album in
Yeah.
vinyl.
And it's
I love it
beautiful,
so
yeah.
much. Yes, I love it so much. It's beautiful, and always I have this place in my living room when I have like the turntable and everything, and always when I see this one, I'm like, oh my
Mm.
god, I can't believe I have this one because it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite albums of all time. Beautiful by
Yeah.
Butterfly
Yay.
by
Love.
Mariah.
And it's crazy because people can think that the most rare vinyl are the older ones, but actually the ones that were released in 1996, 95, 97 are the hardest to find because they were
Yes,
stopping to
Oh.
produce records like that. So there's no much out there like the Shakira uh,
Oh yes.
Pies
Mm-hmm.
Descalzos
Descalzos.
is very rare to find. The Spicy Girls album and a lot of
Never.
examples. And when you
I, I,
find, it's
I,
very expensive.
I've been looking for Never Say Never by Brandy, for example, in vinyl, and it's impossible to buy because it's
Mm.
very expensive. Usher,
Mm.
Confessions, and stuff like that. It's very, very, very expensive.
And I've been
Yes.
meaning to
Yeah.
ask you guys one last question. What's one album that you wish you had that you still haven't? I know
Oh,
there's a
there's so
lot, but
many.
think about. Mao?
Let me think. Mm.
Well, I'm going to mention like a story from this week. The single of Stay True by
Mm.
Stacey Rico was like available for an auction in eBay, and I lost. I want this one so bad because it's like one of the albums that I don't have that is
Mm.
missing in
Mm-hmm.
my collection, because I have a lot of stuff by Stacy. And yes, it was not for me. At the end of the day, it was
Mm.
not for me because I lost. Um, Anytime I know that I going to have it, I expect that, I hope. And for example, Never Say Never in vinyl by Brandy, I would love to have it. The Year of the Gentleman by Neo in vinyl. A lot of editions in vinyl actually, because I like in during the pandemic I was thinking about like to have every album that is my favorite in
Mm-hmm.
the vinyl format. So I start
Um,
with Butterfly and for example this one that I was mentioning, Never Say Never by Brandy, Year of the Gentleman, Street, The Boy Is Mine by Monica, these Confessions by Usher, yes. So these
Yeah.
albums I want to have it in vinyl because are my
Yes,
favorites for
I
my
understand.
favorites. So
And
yes.
what about you, Luquitas?
Yeah. I, I'm I'm thinking about doing something similar of Mauricio because I decided to collect uh, only artists
Mm-hmm.
that I want to have everything, like Britney Spears and all those artists. But there's some albums that are so special to me, like Evanescence, the Falling
Mm-hmm.
album from 2003. I really love this album. It's one of my favorite albums ever. So I'm thinking that I should have this in vinyl, like one special thing. I don't need to collect the whole discography
Mm-hmm.
by then because I don't want to. So this is one. I of course want the things by Sandy Jr., and Vanessa that I still don't have it because I have a lot, but at the same time there's a lot missing.
Yeah.
The promo and the singles are very hard to find, and some things that are so simple that I continue to wait to buy and never buy. Like I don't have, for example, my
Mm-hmm.
kind of Christmas
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
Christina Aguilera. I don't
Oh,
have this
okay.
one. I don't have In a World Like This by the Backstreet Boys. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many
I
albums that
know,
are
I know.
not so hard to find that I think, okay, I'll buy later, and I never bought it. So I really want to focus on that too.
Um,
And you,
well,
Marielle,
from the
what are you
simplest
looking
of
for?
things, like you just mentioned, I'm missing some of Jennifer Lopez's albums, like Rebirth or This Is Me Then. I don't have it. I know. So, yeah, from
Oh.
Yeah. Mhm.
the most common albums you can imagine to, for example, all the albums by Anu Hair. I only have her greatest hits, and I would love to have the other three because, I love Anu Hair, but I have searched
Mhm.
for them, but they're coming from Hawaii, so the shipping is extremely expensive. So it kind of hurts my. We do it like this when you don't want to spend so much. It's
Yeah.
like it kind of hurts my elbow.
Yes,
So
yes.
Uh,
when that happens, and obviously I love Gabriella Chilmi, but I don't have anything by her. So I would love to have her discography or
Oh, okay.
Joanne's album Do
oh,
Not Disturb from Australia too. So yes, or maybe one by Elena Paparizou that I don't have. So yes, a lot of albums out there. Yes.
yeah, so many things. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't have the last one by Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Branch, to The Trouble with
Oh,
Fever, and she's like my favorite singer. And actually, I hate this because Sunday Jr. was the most expensive, but someday Michelle would be the one because she released The
Oh.
Spiritual Room in vinyl, and she signed it, and it was not that expensive, but I didn't have the money when she
in
released
that
it,
moment,
and
yes.
now
It's
it's
really
Mm-hmm.
like
expensive.
2000.
Yes.
Yes, it's very expensive on eBay, but I still want to have it,
Well,
but I have to
we
wait.
have to save.
Yes.
So
For example,
yeah.
in the case of Mariah Carey, I don't collect everything by her
I know.
because it's almost impossible. Like for example, right
Yeah.
now she's releasing a lot of stuff. Like in the anniversary of Music Box, she's releasing like
Mhm.
a new edition with vinyl, with
Yeah,
cassette,
it's
with the
impossible.
CD, and a lot of stuff. So I hate that because it's impossible. In the case of Estacio Rico, it's easier because she stopped making music. For
Yeah.
example, like I don't know. For example, Adrian found a lot of singles by Rachel Lampa that was awesome because Rachel Lampa is not so difficult to find,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like very rare. Like the
Yes.
singles by Rachel are very rare. So yes, yes, this kind of stuff. For example, I Rachel was my favorite for a long for like always. And I didn't have I only had the Kaleidoscope album, and this year I have the others because of Luquillas. Actually, Luquillas gave me the Rachel Lampa self-title, and then I bought the Live for You, and yes, but it was like this year or last year. Yes, it's funny because maybe
Yeah.
there are things that are easy to find,
Yes.
but we are lazy
Yes.
sometimes
Mm.
in some stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
but the thing with collection is patient.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta be patient because in the right time,
Will
the right
come.
CD
Yes.
or vinyl will show up.
Yes,
If you
Yes,
guys want to
totally.
help us
that's it.
to grow our collections, we're gonna leave you the links to our Discogs account, so you guys can check out what
Yes.
we have and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we
There's wish
want.
lists.
So
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yes, yes,
Actually,
yes.
guys, we gotta thank again
he.
Adrian because
Mm-hmm.
she's helping us with our collection so much, and he's
So
doing with
much.
Thank you,
all
Yes.
his
Adrian.
heart, and we appreciate that so much,
So
Adrian.
much.
Uh,
Yes.
we are planning our second season. We want you here with us in one episode to talk about CCM and everything you love. We are very
Yes.
happy
Yes.
with your
Have
Thank you so
you.
friendship,
much,
with your
Yes.
Adrian.
new friendship in
Gracias.
our
I know
lives.
you
Yes.
Yes,
because
yes.
you're great.
He's he's Mexican. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. We love you
Yes,
so
we
much.
can't wait to
You
have
are
you
the
here,
best.
and you guys
Yeah.
can't see. Well, we have a lot
Yes.
of things planned for season two, so beware. Yeah.
Very soon.
Stay
Actually,
tuned.
that reminds me one thing before we go, because we are finished this. We need to ask people
Oh
that
yeah.
are watching this because the next episode would be the last one for the season one, and we want this episode to be all about you guys that are watching us. So you guys can send the one the ones who are watching here in YouTube in the comments. You guys can send us questions or games that you guys want us to play. Of course, all about pop music. We are creating one episode with all the things that you guys can ask
Yes.
and propose to us to play and talk about. So
Yes. So
it's with you
and for
guys
those
now.
of you
Yeah.
following us on Instagram, you guys can also send your questions there, and we will be happily answering them to you next episode, which will be the closing of this amazing season we've had.
Yes.
Yes, actually,
Yes.
talking about Adrian again. He today he sent me some
Oh,
questions
okay,
for
okay.
us to answer.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes. Because he's our number one viewer, so I
Follower,
Yes.
let him
yes.
know about this, about the next episode. So it's great that
Yes.
he's already
And I
thinking
met
about
my
this.
friend
Thank you,
Rafael.
Adri.
We met on the supermarket on Sunday, and I asked him if he would like to be part of one episode because he's the biggest Kylie Minogue fan in the world. So maybe we can dedicate a whole episode to Miss
Oh,
Kylie
cool.
Yes.
and have him as a guest. It would be great because he knows everything about Kylie. So
Yeah, totally.
I
Great.
like it so much.
yeah.
Yes,
Would be
yes,
awesome,
yes.
yeah,
Yay!
to have
Yes.
another Brazilian here with
And
us.
and he's just as
Yay,
handsome
yay.
as you are,
Totally.
Lucas. So yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
You
thank
both
you.
you guys are so handsome.
Thank
Like
you.
why?
Great.
Why are the most handsome not available?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode with us.
Great.
Thank you, Lucas. It was such a fun episode to getting to know more about what we like, what we have.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, and we will be seeing you next episode. Anything else you guys want to add, Mao?
For this episode, maybe the playlist will be like sharing this stuff like we share with you today,
Okay.
but in a playlist, selecting different kind of songs from these albums to create a playlist. And don't forget to subscribe, people, and share the questions. Maybe for the three of us, or
Yes.
maybe for one in special. Don't be very specific about for the one of us is the question like to be answered. So that's all. Thank you so
Yes.
much, guys. Love you as always, and
Yes. Thanks
see
for
you
watching,
next
Lucas.
week.
Huh?
I just gotta say thank you again. It was a pleasure to talk about collection with you guys. We have a lot of things to show, so maybe in a
Mm-hmm.
future episode with different questions, and let's hope our
Keeps
collection
keeps getting
get
better.
bigger
Yes.
until there.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
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 And
Yes.
that's it. Thank you for
Yes, thank
everything.
you
Thank you for
everybody. Have a
everyone
great
watching.
weekend. Bye.
Bye.